Hello and welcome back to our channel, a new episode for AZ104 Microsoft Azure Administrator Certification Exam. Today we are diving into some carefully crafted exam questions complete with explanation to help you understand the core concepts. If you have not watched our previous video, you can check our entire playlist which has approx 100 plus questions. If you are looking for comprehensive AZ104 preparation resources, we have got you covered. Question number 21. Your company uses Azure App Service to host multiple web applications with the following custom domains, that is www.app1.com, then app2.contoso.com, and shop.fabricam.com. You need to ensure secure HTTPS access for all these applications. How would you configure custom domain SSL bindings and manage SSL certificates for these applications in app service? The options are: create separate app service managed certificates for each custom domain, that is app1.com, app2.contoso.com, and shop.fabricam.com, and bind them accordingly. B. Purchase a wildcard SSL certificate from a third party provider for all.com and update it to app service. Bind the certificate to all application. Then C. Create a single app service managed certificate for all.com and bind to all application. Then D. Create a single app service managed certificate for all.contoso.com and bind it to app2.contoso.com. Then create separate app service managed certificate for www.app1.com and shop.fabricam.com. So the correct answer is A. Now, as per the security best practices, it's recommended to use separate certificates for each domain for enhanced security and isolation. If a certificate is compromised, it affects only one domain. Then, flexibility. Separate certificates allow for independent management of renewals, update, and potentially revocation for each domain. App service managed certificates. This is the simplest and most cost effective option for obtaining and managing SSL certificates within Azure. Now, why other options are not correct, as a wild certificate for all.com would not be valid for the subdomain app2.contoso.com. So, while technically possible, this mixes wildcard and individual certificates, adding unnecessary complexity. While purchasing a wildcard certificate is possible, using app service managed certificates is generally more efficient and cost effective within the Azure ecosystem. Now, key steps for implementation. First, create app service managed certificates for each domain. Navigate to your app service in the Azure portal, then go to TLS or SSL settings and add an app service managed certificate. Ensure domain validation is successful. Then bind certificates. So under custom domains, add each custom domain and select the corresponding app service managed certificate for binding. The last, enforce HTTPS. So in the TLS and SSL settings, enable HTTPS only to redirect all HTTP traffic to HTTPS. Question number 22. You are setting up a new Azure storage account for your company's marketing team. Which performance tier should you choose if they require high transaction rates and low latency for their frequently accessed media files? The options are: A. Zone redundant storage, B. Standard, C. Premium, and D. Basic. So the correct answer is Premium. So the Premium performance tier is specifically designed for high performance workloads that require low latency and can handle a high volume of transactions, making it ideal for frequently accessed media files. Question number 23. You are developing a Bicep file to deploy a network security group. You need to define inbound and outbound security rules to control network traffic. How would you structure the NSG resource definition and specify the rule properties within the bicep file? The options are A. Define the security rules property within the NSG resource definition. B. Group rules logically using the security rules property. C. Specify the direction, priority, name, and access properties for each rule. And D. Use the depends on property to manage dependency between rules. So the correct answer is A. So in a bicep file, define the security rules property within the NSG resource definition and specify properties such as direction, priority, name, and access to control network traffic. Question number 24. You are implementing a hub and spoke network topology in Azure. How would you design the virtual networks, subnets, and routing configuration to establish a centralized hub for shared services and connect multiple spoke virtual networks for different workloads or applications? The options are A. Create a single virtual network and use Azure Firewall to control traffic between subnets. B. Create separate virtual networks for the hub and each spoke and peer the virtual networks. Configure user defined routes in the spoke network to route traffic through the hub. C. Create a virtual network for the hub and subnets for each spoke within the same virtual network. Use network security group to control traffic between subnets. D. Create a single virtual network with multiple subnets, one for each workload or application. So the correct answer is B. So the hub and spoke model provides a scalable and modular architecture. The hub VNet act as a central point of connectivity, housing shared services, while spoke VNets contain specific workloads or application. Peering and UDRs ensure efficient traffic routing. Question number 25. Your organization is using Azure App Service to host a global web application with a high volume of traffic. Which Azure Content Delivery Network CDN features can you use to improve the application's performance and reduce latency for users worldwide? The options are A. Custom domain support, B. Edge caching, C. CDN caching, D. Custom SSL, E. CDN compression, and F. Geo filtering. So the correct answer is B, C, and E. So, to improve performance and reduce latency for a global web application, Azure CDN uses CDN caching, stores copies of static contents, that is, images or CSS files, on a servers closest to users, reducing the distance data needs to travel. Then CDN compression makes files smaller before sending them, decreasing the amount of data transferred and speeding up load times. Then edge caching. So another term for CDN caching, emphasizing that content is stored at the edge of the network near users for faster delivery. Visit our website Tick Cloud Solution, where you will find the AZ104 PDF featuring over 400 practice questions to sharpen your skills, an exclusive AZ104 course that mimics the actual certification exam experience, including detailed explanation for every questions, mock test, and additional study materials to boost your confidence. Don't miss out. After watching this video, visit our websites and grab the AC104 PDF dumps or enroll in the course to get started. This is your chance to supercharge your preparation and achieve your certification goals. The link is in the description below. Question number 26. You are managing a large scale Azure environment with hundreds of virtual machines. You need a way to track the health and availability of these VMs at a glance. Which Azure Monitor features provides a visual representation of the health status of your VMs? The options are A. Azure Service Health, B. Azure Monitor Alerts, C. Azure Monitor Metrics, and D. Azure Monitor VM Insights. So the correct answer is D. So Azure Monitor VM Insight is specifically designed to aggregate health and performance data from VMs, including a visual map for quick assessment of overall health. Question number 27. Your organization is expanding its presence in Southeast Asia. You need to create a new storage account that will be accessed primarily by users in that region. How can you ensure optimal performance and compliance with data sovereignty regulation? The options are A. Create the storage account in the Southeast Asia region. B. Create the storage account in the East US region. C. Create the storage account in the West Europe region. D. Create the storage account in any Azure region. So the correct answer is A. So creating the storage account in the Southeast Asia regions ensures optimal performance by minimizing latency and adhering to data sovereignty regulation by keeping data within the required geographic boundaries. Question number 28. You want to monitor the status of your Azure backup jobs and receive notification for failed or completed backups. Which Azure service can you use to track backup job status and configure alerts? The options are A. Azure Log Analytics, B. Azure Advisor, C. Azure Backup Explorer, and D. Azure Monitor. So the correct answer is D. So Azure Monitor is the primary service for collecting logs and metrics from Azure Backup, and its alerting capabilities allow you to get notification for backup job failures or completion. Question number 29. You are tasked with implementing Azure blueprints to standardize deployment patterns and resource configuration across multiple Azure subscriptions. How would you use Azure blueprints to automate resource deployment and ensure compliance with organizational standards? The options are A. Use Azure blueprints to define a reusable set of resources and policies that can be consistently deployed to multiple subscriptions. B. Use Azure Blueprint to monitor and analyze resource uses across subscription. C. Use Azure Blueprints to manually deploy resources to each subscription. And D. Use Azure Blueprints to create and manage resource groups across multiple subscription. So the correct answer is A. So Azure Blueprints enables you to create and manage a standardized sets of Azure resources and policies, automating deployment and ensuring compliance with organizational standards across multiple subscription. Question number 30. So this is a case study question. Contoso Limited has an e-commerce platform hosted on Azure. The platform uses multiple Azure virtual machines to handle web traffic. Recently, the company has noticed that during promotional events, the traffic spikes significantly, causing performance issues and slow response times. During non-promotional periods, the traffic is relatively low, and having many VMs running results in unnecessary cost. Contoso Limited wants to implement a solution that automatically adjusts the number of VMs based on the load to ensure optimal performance during high traffic periods and cost efficiency during low traffic periods. They have decided to use Azure Virtual Machine scale sets with auto scale configuration. Now the requirements are given as: first, increase the number of VMs when the average CPU uses across the VMs exceeds 75% for 5 minutes. Then the second, decrease the number of VMs when the average CPU uses falls below 30% for 10 minutes. Then the third, ensure there are always a minimum of 2 VMs running at any time. Number 4, limit the maximum number of VMs to 20. And the question it says, Which of the following steps should you take to meet Contoso Limited's requirement? Now the options are A. Configure a load balancer with manual scaling settings. So the minimum number of VMs to 2 and the maximum to 20. Define rules based on CPU users to manually add and remove VMs as needed. Then B. Manually adjust the number of VMs in the scale set based on observed traffic patterns. Set a calendar based schedule to increase the number of VMs during promotional periods and decrease during non promotional periods. C. Create a virtual machine scale sets and configure auto scale rules based on the average CPU users metric. Set the minimum number of VMs to 2 and the maximum to 20. Define a rule to add VMs and when the CPU uses is above 75% for 5 minutes, and another rule to remove VMs when the CPU uses is below 30% for 10 minutes. D. Create a virtual machine scale set and configure auto scale rules based on the average memory users metric. Set the minimum number of VMs to 2 and the maximum to 20. Define a rule to add VMs and when the memory uses is above 75% for 5 minutes, and another rule to remove VMs when the memory uses is below 30% for 10 minutes. So the correct answer is C. Now, why C is the correct? So, virtual machine scale set and auto scale configuration. So, Azure virtual machine scale sets are designed to automatically scale the number of VMs based on predefined rules. This fits Contoso Limited's requirement for dynamically adjusting the number of VMs based on load. Then metric based scaling. So CPU uses. So the case study specifies using CPU uses as the metric for scaling. Auto scale rules based on average CPU users are appropriate because CPU utilization is a direct indicator of VM's workload. High CPU users suggest that the VMs are under heavy load, while low CPU users indicates less demand. Now the third, scaling rules. So increasing VMs when CPU uses is above 75% for 5 minutes. This rule ensure that additional VMs are added when the load increase significantly, helping maintain performance during peak time. Then decrease VMs when CPU uses is below 30% for 10 minutes. So this rule reduces the number of VMs during low traffic period, which helps control cost by not running unnecessary VMs. Then 4, minimum and maximum VM limits. So minimum of 2 VMs. This ensure high availability and fault tolerance by having at least 2 VMs running at all times. Then maximum of 20 VMs. This sets a cap on the number of VMs, preventing excessive scaling and potential cost overruns. Then 5, efficiency and cost effectiveness. So by automatically scaling VMs up and down based on real-time demand, Contoso Limited can ensure optimal performance during peak times and cost efficiency during off-peak times. This approach minimizes manual intervention and ensure that resources are used effectively. I hope these tips and tricks help you feel more confident for your exam. And don't forget, you can download the PDF and take a real exam simulation on our websites. Check the link in the comment section. If you found this helpful, like, share, and subscribe for more in depth exam prep, and let me know in the comment how your preparation is going. See you in the next one.